So I'm here at Ashburnham. I'm walking. I don't have my microphone with me. I've been teaching all day. I've come outside for the evening and just caught by this absolutely beautiful sight. So I'm kind of wandering down. The light is kind of low in the sky but diffusing over everything, and you can see it bouncing off the lake as I walk towards it. There's a goose in front of me. At some point he's going to realise I'm coming and wander off. There he goes now. And the colours I guess they're rhododendrons on a little island in the lake is absolutely stunning. I love coming here to Ashburnham, and I think of those verses in Psalm 139, where would I go from your presence? And the funny thing is, it's not hard to imagine where to go away from the Lord's presence, but because you're not really. But it's so easy when we are surrounded by the things that man has made, and there's nothing wrong with the thing that man has made, but there's something of a different quality that the things that people do, which we encounter in the cities, and they're great testimonies to people's ingenuity as the buildings go up. So many stories, you wonder how on earth they stay up. And in a strange way, they shout at you. And you come out to a place like here, and actually it's far more stunning, far more incredible. And there's a peace to it, and it's getting your attention. There you can see my shadow. It gets your attention without shouting. And the irony is, though, of course, we actually, the place we most encounter the presence of God is in those around us who speak Jesus to us. And he says, when 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, then look, I'm in the midst of them. And there's a kind of a multiplication of God in us and among us, multiplication of the presence of Jesus, that Jesus lives in me. So I can always retreat and find him as I pray. Yes, I can feel him in me. But strangely, if we come with the right attitude, when we're together in his name, he's multiplied amongst us. So he's in me and he's in you, but 1 + 1 actually makes 3, because he's also between us now as well. And so as much as I love getting away to these places and just knowing the overwhelming love and creativity of a good God, and you see it in his creation, and part of the reason I love coming here is one of those places where you so encounter it. You may not be able to hear it on the sound recording, but I can hear so many different birds singing. I haven't a clue what most of them are. And there are colours around me which probably won't come out on the video. And so I can be enveloped in his presence here, and it's very easy to hear because it's kind of almost like loudly whispering over me. It whispers with a loud voice over you. But there are also those times when I'm surrounded by people in the middle of the city, and there's so much noise, and people's achievements are shouting so loud. And if you stop and we speak Christ to each other, we're suddenly aware again, straight away, of that same quiet voice, but now multiplied between us. So there's Martin Seligman, who's one of the fathers of kind of modern positive psychology. He's not a Christian, but he makes the statement that happiness is other people. And at the same time, it can also be true, like Jean-Paul Sartre put it, that hell is other people. Strangely, the two things kind of go together. That there's nothing better than being loved by someone unconditionally, and expressing the unconditional love of God to somebody else can be incredibly good for them. And so we can know his presence through the right ministry of one person to another. In fact, we know it so intensely there, as well as by coming away to these places and spaces where he whispers loudly over us. Doesn't shout. It's good for your soul. But you know that if you just stayed here forever and ever and you didn't engage with others, life would be very shallow. Life would be very shallow. It's just my thoughts while I'm here at Ashburnham. It's not the best video I've put together. Been doing a day of teaching today on how Jesus appears through the apostolic books of the Old Testament. And it's always the way I have a whole day to cover the whole of the apostolic stream. And we got past the book of Judges, and that was about it. People are quite happy. We covered an awful lot. Because there's always more. Today I used a quote which was from one of the Moravian missionaries, who famously at that time, the early days and phases of what we think of as the Reformation, although they were often one of the groups that were persecuted by the Reformers as well as by the more established churches. And one of them famously kind of said, I refuse to believe that 1500 years has exhausted what there is to say in this book about the love of God. And while we're 500 years after that now, but I still believe it's true today. We've been studying the Bible for 2 millennia. There's no other script, no other text that has been studied to the same depths and levels. And yet the truth of the matter is we're still finding things that point us to Jesus, hidden in the Hebrew, in connections that people hadn't made until suddenly with new computer tools they're looking at one verse next to another and saying, oh, that's amazing, I'd never seen that. That's part of the thrill and part of the adventure of digging deeper into God's written word to find his living word. So it's a good time when I'm here. I've just been musing, meditating over those things and thoughts and giving you a nice sight. Just so you know it really is me. I'll turn the camera around, just trying to see where I can do that, because I'm doing this in a slightly different... I can't see how to turn the camera around on this. It must be here somewhere. Okay. You'll have to trust that I'm here behind the camera. You can hear my voice. So until I get back and I get more regularly into doing my crumbs under the table, walking my dogs and blogging at the same time, I'll just give you these wonderful shots and thoughts. Hopefully it does your soul good too. Okay, catch up with you some point. Bye.